Steve, a full week's training. Has it been a good week's training?
Yeah, the lads are always good. There's no problem with any of the boys. They're in good form. I think last week was obviously one that, I don't know, you want to digest, but you can't quite digest it because it sticks in your throat a little bit. But still, nevertheless, we've had a decent week, Paul. Yeah.
And obviously, that game was dominated by Ryan and his sending off. Have you been able to appeal that? Have you been able to do anything?
Yeah, we did appeal it. We didn't win the appeal. But normally if it's a frivolous appeal or something like that, you'll get more games on top of it. I still disagree with the decision. I think it was a full-bodied challenge by both players. In fact, if anything, 3 or 4 seconds before the incident where Ryan gets sent off, I spoke to Mike Jones, and it's a yellow card for their guy for the tackle on Charlie McCann, probably 3 seconds before that incident happens. So yeah, for me that was all, really frustrating and disappointing last week, how all of that turned out, because it didn't need to turn out like that. I thought for the first 20 minutes in the game, we probably tried to play too much football. I thought the grass was long last week and we were rolling balls around, and it wasn't getting to the destination quick enough. And maybe we should have gone a little bit longer at the start of the game. But, we still end up having all those things against us last week and went down to 10 men for 73 minutes and done really, really well, I think. So, all credit to the boys. I thought that I always say to them, if you can't win a game, don't get beat. And that's what they didn't do. They didn't give in right up until the end. So we'll take our medicine with the other stuff and take the point and try and build on that next week.
And you said you might have to have a look at things with Ryan. Have you how much of it is him and how much of it is actually decisions going against him because of his size?
I think there's a little bit where, because he's had a few red cards, his reputation will precede him. I don't want to take away his other red card against Solihull was, in my opinion, stupidity a little bit. On this one, I think it was a full-blooded challenge that both players went in for. I don't, he got the ball first. He kicked the ball against their lad. But look, as I said, and I think if you're going to go into an actual confrontation, a physical confrontation with Ryan, he's 6'6". He's a big guy. So, I don't think they'll add any treatment on his leg. I think what happened was he got a little bit of a whiplash, but that's where they both come together. Ryan's studs weren't up. They weren't off the floor. It wasn't a two-footed challenge. That one of our lads told me the referee said it was two-footed. It wasn't that. But I don't know whether you can win in these circumstances too much anyway.
So you're without him for, 3 games then?
Yeah.
How big a miss is he, starting with Stockport on Saturday?
Well, anyone that's missing from our squad is going to be a big miss because we've not got a big squad. So, we're not going to highlight Ryan and put him into a higher echelon bracket than any of the other boys when we miss them. So, we've got players back there who we know can do a good job for us, whether they're in the team or out the team. So, yeah, we'll just drop back into what we've played before and move on with it, really. Like, as I said before, just take our medicine on it.
When the draw was made a couple of weeks ago, you said, well, this is a good tie for us to test ourselves. Yeah. How encouraging will that be to just sort of have an opportunity to play a Football League team this season and one you played last season?
Yeah, look, I think Stockport, I think they're well managed. I think they're well coached. I think they've got some really good players there. I think their recruitment has been very, very good. They come in the bracket like Wrexham do, of spent a lot of money but spent it well. because there's a lot of teams that spend a lot of money and don't spend it well. So, you know, I think Stockport come into that, and I say Stockport and I say Wrexham because I've come across them in the last 6 or 7 months, and I think that they've done really well. That's what I think they have done, and you know, I think they've both got, you know, decent training grounds and everything like that. So big well done to their owners, their chairman, their managers and coaching staff and scouts and whatever they've done, because I think they've done a good job with their recruitment.
And on that basis, how much have they evolved from the team you played last year? Are they a better side than the one that you faced last spring?
Yeah, I think so. I think the reason they're a better side is they've got a bigger squad, more numbers to choose from. You know, I think what they've got is they've got almost, when you look at their team, there'll be not an open house chance we can guess their team. No chance. No chance. We won't be able to guess their team because they've got a player for every position. So I definitely think that. I think that it'll be difficult to... we couldn't put their team up. Not a chance. We couldn't put their team up. We can put one team up and then put another team up, and they could get a mix from both of it. It just depends on who's available, perhaps who's on bookings or suspensions. You know, they've got a strong 11 whoever they play.
On that basis, do you prepare for the style of play that they'll adopt rather than personnel?
Yeah, that's what we've had to try and do, yeah.
In terms of the FA Cup for Forest Green, obviously you've had a target on your backs this season. For once you go in as the underdogs. How much of a difference does that make?
I don't know really, because it's probably not been dobbed on us too much this year. But it's fine. You know, like I said before, we're going up to play against a good team, and it's a good little gauge. Find out where we are. That doesn't mean to say. It doesn't mean to say if we go and win the game that we're good enough and we should be playing in League One, because we haven't been, which is why we're not playing in there. And then if we get beat, then it's not going to be a shock to anyone if we go and get beat at the weekend. There won't be too many people that will be thinking we'll go and win the game up there. So, you know, we just need to make sure that we prepare properly internally and do our work as we would do in any other game.
Is it one of those occasions where you need everyone to be sort of 7s and 8s and above, and you need some of them to have an off day?
Yeah, maybe. Everybody says that, doesn't it? You know, I just, you know, I wouldn't be stood here and wishing an off day on anybody, really. That's not my style. I don't do that. It's just about how we can play and how we can prepare for it. And so far, we've done a fair bit of our preparation today, and we'll do a little bit more to finish off before we travel up.
When you've achieved FA Cup upsets in the past, what have you sort of seen as been in common with each of them?
Honesty, hard work, cohesion, discipline, and probably a little bit of luck somewhere along the line.